Well, we're here again at SSOW in Orlando, and I had the great fortune opportunity to listen to a panel discussion with one of our long-term customers, Swiss Re. And Jose, great panel discussion. Thank you again for all your input. For our customers, though, I'd like to reiterate a few things. One, tell me, long-term customer, 3 years I think we talked about. Give me an idea of how you're using RPA. I mean, you've been doing it for a long time. Kind of a little bit progression on your journey.
Sure. So we've been using RPA for three plus years at this point. We started with UiPath and have stayed with UiPath, and it's been a great experience. Software has matured a lot in those 3 years, and so really now it's giving us the capabilities that we need, and helps us with automating a lot of our business processes. And my team, it's a relatively small team within our organization, but we cover global footprint across all business units and all functions. So we have a big impact across the group, and it's been a fun journey. I mean, learning along the way, working with different companies, helping them also learn, even helping some of our customers that are starting on the RPA journey.
Definitely.
So I should look and see if I can get some referral bonuses.
Yeah, that would be good. I think.
And we've grown. I mean, you've known us when we were very small, 3 years ago. Yeah. In the last year, we've grown exponentially, but you've been with us for a long time. Again, we appreciate it. Mm-hmm. As you've gone through this journey with us, not only from us becoming a bigger company and with the software growing, what are some of the things as you built out this horizontal, across a big global company, what are some of the things that you can help our customers learn on that journey?
Yeah, so I think there was certainly some key factors that helped us be successful from the get-go. First and foremost is getting IT involved. I mean, 3.5 years ago, you had consultancies that would come and tell you don't need IT. Well, that's not really true. And I think if you want to have an enterprise scale deployment, you absolutely need to make sure that it fits in your environment. You can set some standards and policies that IT and risk management, in particular IT risk management, can agree to. Governance, we work in a regulated environment, and so having the right governance, making sure we have the right change management, that we understand when a business process has some time sensitivity, what is the governance around that, and making sure that then when we talk to the internal auditors, the external auditors, that they can see that we have an appropriate mechanism in place to make sure that change control is there, that we're doing it in a professional way. Opportunity assessment, making sure that things that you look at have the right scale, because I mean, a lot of things can be automated, but what we end up finding is people look at their pain in the butt things that they do once a year. Yeah. Well, you're not going to get a good return on that. So we try and focus on automating the process, taking a look at, what is it we do at scale, and then making sure we select those processes, assess them for automation potential. We have what we call it a rapid assessment forum. We sit down with the business, typically a 20 to 30 minute discussion about volume and nature of the process, what kind of activities are involved in the process, what applications are there, and very quickly we can make a determination whether or not it's something that can be easily automated and that can give us the return on investment.
When you talk about return, I think that's a lot of people ask, how fast do we get return? How much return do we get our ROI? Give me an idea how you measure some of that.
So as an internal unit, all our costs are allocated. So there's a cost component that we go and we make it part of the business case, and we kind of have a formula, and we have a pretty good understanding of how much it costs a business unit to have a robot built. And then we have a maintenance cost. And so I have two services, essentially a build and a run, as it were. So on the cost side, that's very well structured. On the benefit side, we really need to understand what's the driver. We have some of our robots that are driven by governance, just automating manual control. Some of our robots are scale, volume. Others are data quality. People making stupid mistakes, not copying all the rows in a spreadsheet. That's the kind of thing that when you automate with a robot, it really gives benefit. Overarching this, we have one big metric which we call capacity created.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit different than what we see with capacity freed up or cost out or some of the other more traditional metrics, because what we want to be is an enabler. So we'll go with a process owner and a sponsor and ask them, hey, what are your key objectives? We'll sit down and then we'll say, okay, as part of this, we'll also free up some capacity, because there is some productivity gain in all cases, even if it's not the main driver. And then it's up to them to figure out, well, if we're giving them, if it's a half an FTE, 1 FTE of capacity, what is it that they do with that? They can choose to free it up, they can choose to redeploy it, but then it's a process owner, and they can use that to justify the cost that gets allocated.
So again, giving back that capacity to the business is one of your key metrics, and a very positive thing for the business owner to say, you've come in and given me time back to my team. That's fantastic. I like to see the COE kind of horizontal, but then each business owner. Now you found that the business owner, once you've got one business kind of doing something, does another one kind of go, hey, I want that too?
Yeah, one of my team members says that robots sell robots. And so we'll be working with the team, and there's usually some initial skepticism as to whether or not it'll be effective. In the end, when the robot's running, more often than not, they'll come back and say, actually, can we expand what the robot does? Or, hey, we got this other process coming with it. So it's quite organic. We're transitioning, trying to be much more strategic and then top down.
Here's my last question. Next steps as we go into 2019.
So absolutely, it's scale. So figuring out where we can have the biggest impact within the organization. I think people are now understand what robots are, what they're not. 3 years ago, most of my time was spent educating people as to, these are not sentient beings. They're not going to take over the world. They will help in your business process. Making sure that we are attacking the right things from a value perspective. So that's absolutely key. And then looking at some of the other things that are a bit more advanced. So we're actually have our first machine learning enabled robot already deployed. And so that's a huge step. We're trying to see what use cases make sense for us to apply that to, and tack on potentially some process discovery or some ML AI components where we see it makes sense from a business case perspective. So that's really where we're expanding. I'm actually very excited, I have to say, with the alpha of the computer vision. I got the announcement, and I'm a bit of a geek, so I went ahead and installed it on my system and played around a bit with it. And I don't write production robots, so I can play. And I think it's a really exciting development in the product.
We do too, and we've been showing that to some of our customers, including you today at the show. I think the resounding response has been very, very nice that they like to see that technology.
So combining that computer vision with some NLP to be able to take semi-structured or unstructured data and build up the process for the robot, I think will be a huge step forward for us.
Well, it sounds like we're going to have to come back here in the next few months and maybe next show, get back to you and see how that progresses. Absolutely. I know we're doing some other customer stories with you. Again, thank you for your panel discussion and your input for our customers that are making this journey with us, UiPath. So Jose, thank you again. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Be sure to follow us for more customer stories at UiPath.com.